And you can have a winning program, they still fucking ain't got legacy behind you.
You know what I'm saying?
My bad, son.
It's all good. He told the truth. Told the fucking truth. You know what I'm saying?
My bad, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's been a long day. I've been at work since 5:30 this morning.
It's all good.
Yo, it wasn't nobody in the stands before Such came. We had a bad run. It was me, Lando Petticoat, and Kevin Walls in the stands. Such come, house get
I hope
packed.
that thing is filming, man.
It is. Definitely is.
Keep this on wax.
Such come
properly, man.
Such come. Fucking gym is packed. It's an overflow. This motherfucker take us right to the top. Bing! With what he got. He didn't do a whole lot of heavy recruit. With what he got. Everybody on Such did. You can't take state tickets for the Hadfield game. You had to stand in line and shit was crazy. 2 years after that, man, these motherfuckers done did some bullshit. They said I had something to do with the documentary. And he wasn't even in the shit. I said, bitch, you work for Pisaki. Who let him in Camden High? I don't fucking know. I wasn't even there. Camden dirty, man. All right, y'all, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
You know I love you, Seth.
Oh, I know.
Because I roll with you. I ride
Let's
with
get
you.
this rolling, man. Come on, let's go. We already got her fired up.
Got her fired up.
She did her warm up lap.
Hey, let's
You know, she
I was gonna go right to
Yeah.
it. Yo, what's going on,
What we doing?
everybody? It's your boy, Such a Wild, aka Bird. I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE show. Once again, cousin Tracy. Now that's how you start a show. You know what I'm saying? That is how you start a show. You know what I'm saying? Today, special Super Bowl edition of the BYRDCAGE, episode 39. Episode 39.
Doing that
Rocking
thing,
and
doing
rolling,
that
rocking
thing.
and rolling, you know what I'm saying? I know we always talk about it here, the fact that I'm head basketball coach, you know what I'm saying? And we always bring up the fact that one of the things that I love is giving guys opportunities that want to coach. And I love when they take that opportunity and turn it into a coaching opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I like to call it my coaching tree. You know what I'm saying?
You bring that up often.
Exactly.
Was you ever assistant coach?
Who, me?
Anywhere?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pisaki. 4 years.
Basketball?
Mm-hmm. 03 to 7, and then that's when I got the job.
I must have been like, man, I must have missed that.
You know what I'm saying? So, two of my guys, you know what I mean? I had the pleasure of calling them, not just, my associates, but some good friends of mine. They was definitely an integral part of, turning that West Hampton Tech program around. I tell them all the time I appreciate them, but I'm here to give them some flowers on my platform today. Sitting here to my left, I got my man D. Briggs. He was with me for a couple years. Now he's the head girls coach at Medford Tech in New Jersey. And my boy to his left, my man Antoine, he was with me 5 years, you know what I'm saying? And now he has his own program. It was seven?
Man.
7, yeah, you right, my bad. This is my
Corrected.
7.
This your eighth
No,
year?
about 7 years, so 6.
Sure?
This is my 7.
All right.
Yeah,
We're
this is my 7.
We're going to run with that.
Yeah, that's 7. So, he was with me now. He's the head basketball coach at Kip Academy in Camden, New Jersey. Briggs, say what's up to the people real quick.
Hey, what's up, everybody? D. Briggs, head coach, Medford Tech Girls.
Definitely. Antoine, say what's up to the
I
folks.
mean, nah, forget all that. I feel like I'm sitting with a couple superstars, man. 39 episodes.
I know.
I feel like y'all just started like 2 months ago.
I know,
Yeah,
I know, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
Yes,
You know, when you did your thing, we realized that it was a
that
space.
lit the flame.
Yeah,
Lit the flame.
space.
I was going to get to it since we talk about it. Before we get into what we're going to talk about, my guy, he started his show and AM University. Please check that out as well, AM University. And it was something that I always wanted to do, but for some reason just never jumped out there and did it. And my man did it. Yeah, probably. My man hopped out there, and I loved what he was doing. And it's my guy. I hit him up like, yo, how I get this thing started. He showed me the equipment to get and the things that I need. And like he said, episode 39. You know what I'm saying?
So we have Antoine on the coaching tree for Such Bird, but Such Bird on the podcast tree for Antoine.
Exactly.
Booyah!
That's how that works out. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody planting seeds up in here.
That's how that
What we
works
doing
out.
up in
That's
here?
what we doing.
That was
You know what I'm saying? That's
Hey,
how
happy
we
to
do
be
it.
here, everybody.
That's what's up.
Let's go.
That's what's up. So today, like I said, they were with me. Now they have their own program. So I just want to talk about that transition for our viewers and folks out there listening and viewing. The transition going from being an assistant coach to now having your own program. Like Cousin said a little earlier, when I was an assistant at Pennsauken for those 4 years, when I was able to take over the program, shout out to my man Dunn for giving me the opportunity. When he left to go to Timber Creek, I was able to take over the Pennsauken program. And my transition, where I struggled in the beginning, was all the stuff that I don't think people realize that head coaches have to do when it comes to a high school program. As far as checking on the kids' grades, you know what I'm saying, scheduling games or going out and get games. You know what I'm saying? It's your name on the front of this thing, so all the problems is coming to you. You know what I'm saying? Parents you got to deal with, administration you got to deal with. It was a whole lot that I didn't really grasp at first that went on out. The basketball stuff was fine, drills and practice planning and all that. But now it's like, yeah, well, you got a meeting with this parent, or you got to, such and such is not doing well in class. You got to set up a study hall, or just a lot of things. I'm like, oh, I got to do that. I gotta do that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta go find some managers. I thought they just kept, you know what I'm saying? Like the little things. And then, after time, you figure it out. But that was one of the hiccups, I would say, when I was transitioning from being assistant to now being the head guy. You know what I'm saying? How about you, bro? Let's start with you, Briggs. How was your transition? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, man, I think I'll speak for Antoine too. You did a pretty good job of preparing us for all that. I know it was a pretty easy transition. Like, you exposed us to all that. Like, you allowed us to be pretty pivotal in, selecting the managers and game planning and putting everything together, interacting with parents. So it wasn't too many things that we have to do now as head coaches that, we wasn't prepared for now. So it's been a pretty easy transition for me.
Gotcha.
Well, Antoine, before you answer, you're actually at KIP, and you're developing a program from ground zero. For those that don't know, again, a lot of times we talk about our community, and KIP is a charter school in Camden City, but this is like maybe their second year as a high school.
Correct.
And this is the high school is starting from ground zero. So their program is starting from ground zero. So you got Antoine, who's a head coach of a ground zero program. So how does that work how does that work?
So I want to answer two parts. I want to answer what Bird said first. And I'm gonna say this in general context of coaches out there. I'm gonna go off of what Briggs said. So we was in a very fortunate situation that we had a head coach that allowed us to get busy. Right, and what I mean by that is he allowed us to have a lot of head coaching responsibilities. That's not normal, right? So a lot of you assistant coaches out there, that every assistant coach has the answer, right? Like they all know what the right answer is until they get in that hot seat, and it's a trillion tasks in that hot seat. It's not about just coaching. I mean, it's technically not even the most important thing, because you need to be prepared going into that game, with a trillion other things that need to be going on. So you got to delegate a lot of tasks, or you got to try to micromanage a lot of tasks, or you got to it's a lot of obstacles to being a head coach, and you got to be you got to delegate these things at a split second, because it can be a serious problem if you don't. Right, so if you don't have all those ducks in line, any assistant coach, I would, in my opinion, I would ask the head coach to give you more tasks in order to be ready, because you won't be ready. You won't. Again, we was in a really fortunate situation where we got to do wrong things, like in action, and be like, oh, well, all right, I'm not gonna do that when I'm a head coach, or I do like what I did there. We was fortunate enough to do it. That's not normal. That's one part. The second part is, so I was thinking about this coming here, about the question, and I was like, well, I've always had autonomy as a head coach for the most part, being with Bird, but then being at KIT. So I feel like this. It's always a culture wherever you go, whether you starting from ground zero, or it doesn't matter. It's a culture. Now, it might be a bad culture, right? So where I'm at, I'm not saying it's a bad culture, but inner city kids, they already have a thought process with their environment, right? What I mean by that is, we in West Tech, we in West Hampton, right? It's a middle class society of black people, right? Most of them got a mom and a dad. Most of them making between 70 and 100,000 in their house, right? They got different problems, right? These kids, I never know. I'm honest when I say this. I never know what problem I'm going to have when I go into the door. Every morning when I go to work, every morning when I go to practice, I do not know what's going to happen because, just being honest with you guys, basketball is not the main priority for these kids because it can't be. Like it's so much trauma, it's so much responsibility that these kids have. There's so much emotion that they have no idea how to deal with. And to be honest with y'all, it's a huge transition for me because I haven't seen it in 7 years. You know, I mean, we all from Camden, but seeing these kids day in and day out and the things that they have to deal with, I could just give y'all examples. A kid got in a fight the other day that's on my basketball team. I mean, in general terms, you probably would kick him off the team. But this is the same kid that 3 months ago, his dad and his brother got killed in the same month. The same month. All I know is his mom that's still there, right? So now I got to think as a coach, I mean, you got to give him consequences, but shit, what are you going to go to the streets?
Right.
It's like, it's a different set of problems, right? I want to make this clear, though. Accountability always has to be there. That never changes, but you just got to go about it a different way than you would a traditional setting. It just is what it is. It's frustrating at times if you're not, again, if you're not fortunate enough to be in a situation like I was with Bird, and you think you're going to hit the ground running as soon as you come in and just win everything, that's not normal, right? Like, because you're breaking habits. Where as adults, we have bad habits. And it takes us a while to get to imagine these kids. You know, they've been doing things, quote unquote, wrong since they've been born, right? And you come in, you meet them in November, and in 3 months you expect that to change. It's not gonna happen, right? So I'm going off on a rant, but you gotta understand what's happening. You gotta understand it's a process as a coach, and you gotta understand you're gonna have a lot of long nights, and it's going to take time, and they're going to mess up a lot, right? But I look at it as if as long as they're trying, as long as they're trying to compete, and as long as they show up, right? You got something to work with because it shows they care. Like that same kid, he cried his eyes out because he automatically thought he was off the basketball team. Like without even talking to me.
Right.
Like he cried this to a teacher. You know,
But-
and I'm like, go ahead, I'm
But
sorry.
that was the thing when we always talk about when we talk about people being coaches and mentors. When you're a coach and mentor in the inner city, and I'm not taking nothing away from anybody, when you're a coach and mentor in the inner city, you're a lot. You're like the big sister, the mom, the aunt, the cousin, the chef, the pastor, the counselor. Like you got to take, when you decide to coach in the inner city, and I'm not saying everybody don't have their problems, because we know the suburbs have their problems. But when
We found
you
that out.
but it's a different set of problems. Because what I found out from my knowledge and what I've learned, our kids, homeboy, cousin, family, friend, get murdered tonight, and everybody expects them kids to show up to school tomorrow and be productive. Like nothing ever happened, right? So as a coach, you got to know that, though. You got to know what you're dealing with, right? So you said your young men, like if you didn't know that dad and brother was killed, you would have been like, yo, you out of here. But now you know, now I got to treat this a little differently because now he's probably looking up to you as the only man. He probably got left around.
And you know what the crazy part about it is? Even in that, they go about it the wrong way. Like, they want you to quit on them.
Because everybody quits on them.
They want you to quit on them, so they'll push your button.
Right.
In all these type of ways.
That's what they used to.
It's different,
Society
man.
done
It's
quit on them, right?
That's the hardest part about being a coach now, though, because correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all might have a different experience. This generation now, the trauma
It's different.
that they experience is way different. This might be the most depressed, anxious
Right.
generation that we've had. And if you don't know how to identify it and how to attack it, you don't know what you're coming into, because that's what you deal with every day as a coach.
Right.
That's what I'm not dealing with game planning. I'm dealing with
Emotions.
Right,
Emotions.
emotions.
Because think about when we was in high school. How many people in your high school class you know got killed?
Right.
Yeah, nah.
89. I can't name one person during the school year.
Yeah.
We just freely played basketball, play sports. We just, you know what I mean? And at best, coach was mad at us because we went to a party on a Friday night and we had a game on Saturday.
Right.
Right. And you was playing to get away from whatever it was that was plaguing you.
Right.
Now it's like they bringing that
They
stuff
bringing it to the court.
into the court.
And I know it's hard for you because you got girls.
Yeah.
And hormonally,
We could
that's
do
a
whole
whole episode on that.
that.
Then you got with young ladies, you know, as somebody who coached young ladies, you got hormonal issues.
Yeah.
You got
Really just self-esteem. Just
Self-esteem.
build their self-esteem.
Right.
Yup.
Confidence.
That's every day though.
Every day.
Every
Yeah,
day
every day.
before you can even do a layup drill.
Every day.
While you're stretching, we gotta talk about, hey, you know, your hair's nice today. Like, what's good?
And they need that.
Right.
And like we laughing and joking about it.
Right.
But they
need
need
it.
that. They need that. They need that.
You know, so it's I get it.
Yeah, it's different, man. But you know, all in all, they want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with this generation, they kind of alluding what Briggs just said. I actually love this generation. I love them. They're so colorful. They're way smarter than all of us.
right.
Like, but they're structured with their emotions. They have no idea how to channel it. They have no idea.
But they're expressive. Like when we was growing up, you ain't say what you thought. These kids, they say what they think.
Right. You can hear it in the music.
Yeah.
It's the music and even the beats and the melodies and the music and the vibration. That's why I say the most depressed. You can just hear it in the melodies of the music. So it's like trying to talk to this generation is different. Is
Imagine, and you gotta coach them.
Yeah.
That's not for everybody, boy. We do, bro.
That's why I quit. So I'm done. I done hung up the whistle. Whistle a wrap. So how do y'all feel about opportunities in this area for black coaches? You know?
Man,
It's not many.
It's definitely not
It's
many.
not many. You know
If
what I'm saying?
if it wasn't for this joker right here, I tell you what, I don't think either one of us would be sitting here for sure. He was my avenue in. I was trying a long time before he allowed me to get in. And you know, I know Antoine and myself, we both advocates of trying to get other black coaches trying to get in.
And it's crazy that you say that because I have a young lady who was part of Wilson's female basketball legacy, right? And she said to me, she was like, Miss Tracy, I don't know if you remember me, I'm X, Y, and Z. And she was like, I just want to coach. She got a college degree. Nobody won't give her an opportunity. Nobody in the city that she's from. Wilson opted not to have a female program versus giving this girl who went to their school, who has a championship ring, a job to try to keep the program alive.
Right.
So opportunities for black coaches, and the crazy part about it is sometimes the hiring look like us.
That's what I was about to say next. So, I mean, I think it's a deeper question than your question, right? Because, I mean, to answer your first question, all right, to me, I don't even care about that. It is what it is, right? I know what it is. They think we're not smart enough to coach. And nobody, you can't say that in front of a camera. You can't say that in front of a TV. They think we're not up to the NFL and NBA level, down to the high. They think we're just good enough to play.
Right.
Whatever. Okay. You get in front of me. All right, fine. But regardless, now the second part that you said, I think that's the real issue though, because it is people in positions, he did it, that won't do it. Right? And it goes back to the competitive thing.
And you're absolutely right, because here's
That's
the thing.
problem for me.
Here's the thing. Like somebody like myself, I can't never get a head coaching job, and I'm gonna just put it out here in the podcast world. For those y'all that don't know, I don't have a college degree. Y'all can think whatever y'all want about me. I did all that I did without a college degree, and I've done a whole lot. So there's a there's a rule that states because I don't have a college degree, I can't coach high school ball. Now, I coached at a charter school because they play by a different set of rules. They play by a different set of rules. You know, I coached at a charter school, and my program was ground zero. My program was ground zero. But I know I can do charter, but I can't coach at like a mainstream high school. But you got coaches out there. Now, I done played with a lot of people. I done been in this basketball world a long time. Males, females, a lot of people. But you got black female coaches that won't bring me on their staff even as a volunteer because of intimidation reasons. You ain't worried about the kids getting the knowledge. Right. And I'm not even talking about me. I know another female who's big time. She had to go to another school because somebody was intimidated by her being around. So when we looking like us and we closing the door on our own, it narrows the gap for us to be head coaches.
Cause it's about me, because we never had anything. Right? So like, I got an opportunity to get mine, and survival of the fittest.
But if you're a basketball player, you know the team concept. You ain't winning no game by yourself. You not.
I'ma try, and I'm being honest with you. That's how people think. Like I'ma try.
But it usually don't work. Tell me how that work out for you. You could score 65, 70 points a game. But if you ain't got nobody rebounding, tell me how that's gonna work for you.
I got mine.
Yeah.
And the L.
Let's be real.
But you're right. But in the L though.
And that's the issue.
Right. That's
the issue.
Right
you
there.
could crack through all of this.
Right.
If it was a whole black coaching staff or a whole black female coaching staff, you could crack through all this. Whatever they want to do over there, it's fine, bro. This ain't the first time in history that, it was a time where we couldn't play basketball.
Right, absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Right, nah.
You kidding me? And somebody made a mistake.
Right.
And let us in.
Let us in. But that's what it is now. But my problem is we shutting the door on each other.
Yeah.
Like, case in point, and now we're probably going to get in this a little bit later. My man Briggs is the man in something else. And he been on here before talking about his training thing. But you got a lot of people that won't send their kid his way. You understand what I'm saying? Because that, and you got another trainer out here. People in our city won't send nobody his way.
I know.
They shut him smooth down. Mm-hmm. But it's us hurting us. But yet we say we want our kids to rise and be the best to be the best they can, you know what I mean, be. And it's crazy because you got people that don't look like us that embrace us.
Quit. Quit. You know what I'm saying?
It's deep because, like, we've been taught so long that only a certain amount of us can survive, only a certain amount of us can succeed, that then we start to pick off each other. We start to look around and say, all right, that number getting a little bit too high.
Yeah.
So-and-so can't make it. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And we start to pick off each other on purpose. So, if we just start to do things from a good place, from a good heart, like Seth did, you know what I mean? Everything will work out on its own.
But I think that depends on who you are.
Yeah, you got to do it from a genuine place.
Correct. I think that's why platforms like this is so important. I think that's why people that's really doing the work is like, me and you talked about this. Like, I don't care what nobody doing next to me, like on the left and right of me, because it's wasting too much energy from the cause. Right. Like, that's going to be what it's going to be. That's generations worth of conversation. What we have talking about right now, that's generations.
Right.
Ain't no one person going to
But here's the thing. Ain't nobody going to stop me from working. Ain't nobody going to stop me from working.
Really, right.
Because if I'm putting in the work, I'm going to put in the work. Right. Because coaching ain't about the person standing on the sideline calling the plays. Sometimes the coach is the person that see you at the corner store and be like, yo, you did X, Y, and Z. Right. Focus on this. But how's your grades working?
Right, for sure.
Definitely.
For sure.
So coaching, people don't realize, if you call me a coach or not, it ain't about what I did athletically. It's about life. And coaching is about life.
Yeah, I mean, sports is the greatest
gateway.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the things, and Antoine, I heard you mention this before, a It might have been us talking to each other, but a lot of that adversity and stuff that we see as grown folk, you know what I'm saying, just in life in general, you got to fight through adversity and stuff in sports. You know what I'm saying?
You navigate
so,
that
a
early.
lot of times when I'm going through things, I go back to what one of my coaches told me when I was younger, or, my dad had coached me all my life. Something he done said on the baseball field or the football field, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then I think that's one of the reasons why I love sports.
Like, it's funny. It's funny. Like, right now, and this is another thing for assistant coaches that become a head coach. Don't break on your principles. Don't break on what you stand for, because it's like me right now, right? So these kids just met me a couple months ago. These parents just met me a couple months ago. The things that I'm saying it's from Mars right now. It's a foreign language, because they don't know, right? So it's a lot of rebellion from all sides, right? And it's lonely as a coach, to be honest with you. Even your assistants might be like, yo, is this really gonna work? Right. Or whatever like that. But you can't break, because, and let's say even if you gotta go down, even if it don't work out, you gotta go down swinging with what you believe in, right? I 100% believe in what I'm doing. But it's gonna feel lonely. Like, you're gonna be getting side looks from kids. You're gonna be getting side looks from parents. Like, what is he trying to do?
Right.
But when kids buy into, and I seen this with, and I'm going to bring this up, I seen this with the Woodrow Wilson football program. Mm-hmm. When Preston first went over there, I said to Preston, once them kids buy into what you selling.
Nah, it's the truth, but nobody talk about that process prior, though.
Right.
Like,
to get them to buy
I want to hear Preston talk about that process prior, because
now it ain't easy.
Right.
They have no discipline.
Right.
They want to go about it a certain way.
Right.
A kid, and I swear he meant no malice by this. A kid looked at me in my face and said, "Coach, I was only 13 minutes late." He did. I'm telling you, he was a good kid. He didn't mean any harm by this.
Right.
He thought that was
was
okay.
cool.
It was
because you know why, and we're gonna talk about this as coaching. You're coaching with your rules, but those rules ain't really being played out in life. You got kids that could come to school any time of the day, and you got to let them in. But then when you come in my gym, I want you here a certain time, doing a certain thing, and we on a schedule. Right. And it's hard to get them to understand life is on a schedule. Mm-hmm. Your real job is on a schedule. Mm-hmm. And athletics is your gateway to understand life.
And you're not only fighting the kids, you fighting whatever, again, the parents.
Right.
Yeah.
And you fighting administration, because the administration going to tell you, our rule is, whenever they come to school, we got to let them in. Yeah, but my rule is, I'm shutting the door in the gym. And I'll see them tomorrow for practice. And guess what's going to happen when you come tomorrow? You're going to run after you stretch to make up for missing practice yesterday. So it'll remind you not to only be to school on time, to make sure you in this gym on time. Right. And it's crazy because you got one of the hardest things for me coaching. I know the X's and O's, but it was always about disciplining with me. Mm-hmm. Disciplining and training, like getting their bodies right, getting their bodies and their minds right. So when I started, when I was coaching at Camden High with Anitra Pope, shout out to my girl Anitra, when she asked me to come on, my role was the training aspect, like running them, getting them stretched, getting them together, and working with their minds, making sure they understood what was going on, life skills, all of that. She would handle the X and O's, but when practice, I ran practice. Suicides, the stretching, the running, taking them to Cooper River, running around Cooper, getting their bodies right. And then while I'm getting their bodies right, I'm getting their minds right. Then I remember pulling up to everybody's house on a Sunday, and I was like, yo, come on, where we going? We're going to go see the Lord. I had a whole row in the church, whole basketball team in the church. Pastor was like, hey, I got to get them right. We got to get it right, because your mind got to be right. To be a good athlete, your mind got to be, it's a total thing. Your chakra got to be in line. And that's mind, body, and spirit. Like, everything got to be in line.
And that goes right into talking about your staff. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure that you're picking the right staff. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it definitely takes a team. You know what I'm saying? And when I first started as a head coach, I was kind of just like, Chad, you know what I'm saying? What's up? I got the basketball gig. You want to coach with me? You know what I'm saying? So now we in the heat of the battle, and I need something different. I'm looking at them like, yo, what I'm doing ain't working. What y'all got for me? They like,
what?
Whatever you got, coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, this is not This is not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all. I have weaknesses and I have strengths. You know what I'm saying? I might not be the strongest X and O guy, but I know Antoine is. So this is gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Because where I'm weak, he's strong. Where he weak, I'm strong. You know
So
what I'm
how'd
saying?
y'all go about
For
picking your staff? Or did y'all pick your staff? Or
Yeah, because some now, that's another thing. Even before I let y'all answer, some I've been blessed. You know what I'm saying? In my coaching journey so far, that I've been allowed to pick basically my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to my AD or whoever, you know, is in charge of that, and I'm like, I want him, I want him, I want him. I've been blessed so far that I don't think I've ever been, knock on wood, but I don't think I've ever been in my 3 different spots. I don't think I've ever been told no when I wanted somebody. You know?
So that's a
So I've been blessed. I've been blessed. You know what I'm saying? When y'all came up, I said I want these. Bang, you got them, coach. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, you say something.
So I'm still in the process. This is technically my 2nd year. So before I got there, I pretty much in a situation where I'm from the ground up. So before I got there, I think the program it was coming off a no-win season. Athletically, nobody was really invested in the girls program. So, 2nd season now, we headed to the playoffs. So now, we're starting to get interest into the program. Girls are starting to get motivated. So now, we're starting to get some cachet in the building.
Right.
But prior to that, I can't go to the
Right,
AD and be like,
right,
yo,
yeah,
I want
this.
so and so. They're looking at me like we barely got
Right.
10 girls in the program. So now that we're starting to garner interest,
Right. Now it's a little more.
But it's key because stuff
definitely.
that we had at West Tech, where we had Antoine, we had a Jeff Burt, we had a me in certain situations. I don't have that.
Right,
you know what I mean? So now, if we need to go do indies or we need game planning here, we missing that component. You know what I mean? So we don't have everything we need.
But the playoff
key.
run gonna get you there.
It's
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Playoff run.
Thank you.
You do a little something. Maybe they give you one coach next year. One assistant.
Right.
Maybe a little warmer.
How many y'all don't have all 3 levels or just varsity JV?
Just varsity
It's just varsity right now. Okay.
But a lot of girls programs just have varsity only because girls just ain't taking the bite no more.
Like you said earlier, the Wilson program.
Yeah, and shut it down. And like my granddaughter played yesterday. She's in Kevin Walls again. Another shout out to Kevin Walls. She's in the North Camden AAU for now. Okay. And then I know Camden Elite's coming up. Although her age bracket ain't in it, but we're going to find a way. And then she got something out Cherry Hill that's coming up, but I'm trying to just get her to play basketball. She played yesterday. She didn't do half bad, but she the only girl out there. And that's what happens.
Right.
When I grew up, I was the only girl out there. Right. That's what happens. And it's a shame because teenage girls get caught between, they think you can't look pretty and be an athlete.
You know what I'm saying? Tell her, this is what it looks like, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
but that's always the misconception. And then, you got people, you got adults right now saying negative things about my grandbaby because she's athletic. She's 11.
Yeah,
like, why do y'all impose your will upon girls? So it's hard to get girls to bite in to the program because this is what you're dealing with. If I just so happen to be good, it's a lot of other stuff that come with me being a little good.
Like Antoine says, he's mentioned plenty of times on AM University about the fact that the adults in the city put so much pressure on these young kids. Like, why are you so invested to that point? They're kids. Like, what you know what I'm saying? Like, can I lose? They can't sleep for 3 days or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you do that? They're kids. Like, what are you doing?
You look at you go to an AAU game. You look at high school. You go to high school games, man. These parents is insane. Yeah.
And it's crazy when I tell people, I say, man, she's 11.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, all right. Because I ain't touching basketball till I was 8. I mean, in 8th grade. I was in 8th grade the very first time I touched the basketball.
Right. It's crazy.
And I did all right. So my thing is, they're kids. Like, let them be kids. And girls programming, and as a coach, I'm telling you, you got the hormones, you got the sexuality, it's just a lot dealing with girls. And I just know, I used to tell my girls, we ain't talking about that. You talk about plays,
Yeah, you crazy.
working out.
I don't hear nothing else, huh?
This is what we dealing with.
What over at Kip, Antoine, what they letting you do staff wise?
First of all, God bless you, brother. It's
That's a lot, right?
It's a tall task, man. So I'm in a fortunate spot as well. I get to pick my own staff, but I didn't pick a staff this year because anybody that know Kip, like Tracy says, it's a founding program. So I just took it upon myself, me and the AD, like, yo, we just having a JV season this year, you know, to get our feet wet, have a whole year to put things in. So I could have hired a staff this year, but I didn't. And I did that because I get a ton of people that ask me that they want to coach, right? But I don't know who's serious, right? And what I mean by I don't know who's serious, 50% of those people will how much they pay. Right then and there, you're gone.
Right.
Like, because you're looking for it. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
that's definitely the wrong.
Antoine, just know I'm not available.
Huh?
I'm not available.
You are available.
I just want you to know. I just want you to know when the hiring starts.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
You always talk about it. You better-
Listen, I had to brush set you off. Not available.
But no, because it like Briggs said, it's everything. Like, when you get in a head coaching role, you have no idea the responsibilities you have. It's so many different things, and you got to make split-second decisions, right? And if you wrong, it could be a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's serious.
You know what I mean? Like, as a head coach. And if you're not able to delegate that task to people that's responsible, like,
fall on you.
You done. You done. So I didn't hire any assistant coaches this year, so I just took the brunt of the load myself, and I would do it again because it has to be the right people in there.
Right.
Like, it's so much going on in a game. It's so much going on during the week. It's so much going on in the off season, which really is the most important part of it.
Right.
That's when you win championships in the off season.
Definitely.
Like, and you got to have people that's dedicated, and people that's not, yo, it's no hard feelings. Like, we adults, you got families. You need to make your money. You need to do all these other things. There's no hard feelings, but you can't be here. If you're not gonna be here developing these kids, because I'm ground zero. I have to develop in order to be successful. You know, like, I have to do that. It's not a problem, but I need the right people in here that understand and understand me first and foremost, right? Because I'm a calm guy most times, like when I'm walking down the street, but in the game, like and in practice, I'm a really aggressive person.
Who told you?
I am. I'm extremely.
Just know you put in your application for assistant coach job. He is not the easiest guy to get along with. I don't care. I've known him his whole life.
But it's like systems. You got to understand things. Like, I don't run a traditional man-to-man defense. Like, it's not you just guarding somebody. That's not it. Like, it's a lot of complexities to it. So I need to be able to turn my head and know that these kids is fine in your hands. You know, and you doing the right thing. So I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of autonomy and full autonomy and who I hire, but it's everything. Coaching staff is everything. And then it's another thing. You might have, and there's nothing wrong with you should want to be a coach, but you might have, I've seen staffs where these two over here talking about the head coach. Like, yo, he don't want to listen to nothing to do. He go in the street and talk about the coach. Like, the people that's just regular civilians. Like, that's another thing. Between the coaches, we got to be able to be boys where, this is us, yo. And what we talk about, stay here. Like, it's a real family. And I think people don't realize that. Between the kids, like, I had to stop my kids from saying family. When we breaking it down, I said, y'all ain't no family yet, yo. Like, half of y'all individuals, 2 of y'all like each other. The other people in the street, like, stop saying that. We're not saying family until we a family.
I think that's what made it easy for us to get along with Bert, because the work ethic was the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew that the other guy was going to be putting in the same type work. Like, as a head coach, it's hard if you putting in all these countless hours and you know your assistant chilling. Yeah, I mean, how you looking at that person in the face? And you know you putting in all this work. You know what I mean? You want your staff to be putting in that same kind of work that you putting in. That you want them to have your back.
We should all be pushing each other. And it's like even with this in a way, like, y'all got a podcast, I got a podcast. Like, we pushing each other in a way. Y'all damn near about to catch me. Y'all at 39. Like, fuck. I'm at 60 something. Like they about to overlap me and shit. Like, but it's healthy though. But but we should push each other in a positive way. It should be the same thing with a coaching staff. Did you go do that scouting report? You ain't do it.
Or how about this? Like, yo, it's a head coach job coming up. I think you should go apply. Like, I think you should push. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm been the assistant long enough. Like, when the girl left, when my girl left Canton High, before she left, she moved to Georgia. Before she left, she was like, yo, I know there's some glitches to Tracy, but try to put her in a head coach position. See what you can do to make that happen. And that's how we should be. Like, we should uplift each other. Definitely. You know what I mean?
Especially if you see it in your assistant that they have head coaching qualities, because not all assistants make good head coaches. Some assistants need to just
be assistants. That's
you know
what I think.
Like just stay in your lane. Just be a good assistant, because this head thing, it might be a little bit too much for you. But as a head coach, if you recognize in your staff, like I knew these two jokers was going to be head coaches at some point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I remember when Antoine was looking for a couple spots, I tell people all the time, he's ready. Like
Shit, I was telling people he was ready.
Job, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is ready to go.
So my question for you is this: as head coaches, do y'all deal with parents? How do you deal with parents, or do y'all let your assistants deal with the parents?
So parents, I'm pretty consistent across the board. I'm consistent with my players and my parents. So I wouldn't say nothing to my players that I wouldn't say in front of their parents. So I'm consistent in that way. So I haven't really had any interactions to date to where, any conflicts with my parents. Kind of see what you get. I'm not going to say your kid know why they ain't playing. They know why I said X, Y, and Z to them. You know why, because I done said it to them in front of you. I ain't scared to say it to them in front of you. It kind of is what it is, straight lace. And, if they have a conflict, they kind of keep it to themselves because – again, I keep it to the forefront.
But I do know of some, but I don't think girl parents, well, they are these days.
They off the hook.
They just as aggressive as.
Yeah, I had one. He was off the hook.
Because I know boy parents kind of be like, my son this, my son never did. Like, I think girl parents kind of just let. I had a bad girl parent experience.
They get out of pocket.
Yeah, I had a bad girl parent experience. Like, the mom thought her daughter was like this and her daughter was trash.
Girl parents is probably worse though, right? Because it's moms involved with their daughter type of thing.
Now I'd be dads thinking that
real rap, I've never had a problem in all my years of coaching with a mom.
It'd be the dads.
Always a dad.
Yeah.
Always a dad.
Because the dads that end up being girl dads try to live vicariously through their daughters because they ain't getting no sons. That'd be the problem.
No, because they wasn't good.
Right.
That's always the.
How's the parents over there at Kit? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For the ones that came,
like,
I had a fan meeting, and I'm telling you, bro, this is different. Like, this is different. I might have had 30% of the team parents come to my meeting, and it's like, you can't. I don't want to. You can't judge them for it. They might have to work. They can't make it. They might not be educated enough to know that this is a real deal. Like, so, back to your question, I directly deal with the parents because you need to fully know what I'm about, so it's no surprises because this might not be for you.
But you know what's crazy about the inner city? I've coached a lot of years in the inner city, and I can name about 6 parents. They let me drive their kid around. They let me feed their kid.
To your point, I don't want there to be any misunderstanding. Parent involvement is great.
Yes. Oh, most
like
definitely.
I want to know your parent.
I
want the parent to be able to feel comfortable enough to say something to me. You're not gonna say nothing out of pocket.
Right.
We ain't gonna talk game plan, but I want you to feel comfortable enough to.
And I get what you say. You do want that, but I'm telling you, as a coach in the inner city, I don't see them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's my duty as a coach in the inner city to go find them because we're dealing with parents that's just as miseducated as kids.
Right.
Like I found out one of my kids, I don't know, they were talking about she's a leader of a Crip gang in the city. Like the mom. Like it's so tenfold. I mean, we need 4 hours to have this conversation because it's so much, and you want
because
layers.
coaching
It's
it's
so
a lot
many
of
layers.
layers to coaching. But I'm telling you,
Basketball's like at the
I'm
bottom.
telling you,
You know what I'm saying?
basketball's the
difference
best. I'm telling you, for me,
importance is like-
for me, in all the years I coach, these girls done spend the night at my house. I done took them places. I done took them to colleges. I done fed them. I done took them to church. I done picked them up from practice. I done dropped them off in my personal vehicle. And I'm thankful that nothing never happened and no parents was on no rah-rah, but the parents was just that comfortable with me as a coach. Oh, she with her coach. She with her coach.
or they didn't care. That's a scary thing that I just said. They didn't care. It's a kid that come to school, like you said earlier, he come to school at 11 o'clock every single day. His mom is gone. He don't have no type of, they don't care.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, this coaching thing is
My guys out there wanting to get into this, and my girls, you know what I'm saying? Just
Know what
make
you're
sure
getting
know
into.
what you're getting into, especially on the high school level, you know what I'm saying? Because, like Cousin was saying, there's so many hats that we have to wear, you know, as a head coach. And, you know, you don't get, not that we're in this for the money, but you do not get compensated
enough.
for as much as the
Absolutely
off-season
not.
work that you got to put in and all of that.
When you do the
not
math,
getting
when
no-
you try to do the math,
Right.
it comes out to about
Like,
96 cents
right, something crazy.
on the hour,
Yeah.
if that.
Yeah, that sounds
If you're
about
putting
right.
in the work.
But then
If you're putting in that
imagine,
time, right.
but
It's
then
crazy.
imagine
It's crazy.
somebody like me who did it all these years and never got paid.
That
Right.
too.
So I'm just out here freeballing. I'm washing clothes. I'm educating. I'm doing.
You end up losing money.
I'm in the negative. I'm in the negative, and thank
Back
God
in the negative with us.
Yeah.
Like back to our times.
I was in the negative. You know, they swimming in my pool. I'm cooking hot dog. I'm buying pizzas. You know what I mean?
Tore your fridge.
But you know, my thing is, as a coach, when you walking down the street, like I had a young lady that was not good at basketball, but I kept her on my team. One day, my girls made me mad. I pulled the whole starting five and put in 5 jokers that I, whatever, had no clue.
Sure.
Because I said, you know what? At least they gonna listen.
Right, definitely.
So the girl gets out there. She scored twice. She never played basketball after I stopped coaching. Never played again. She's now the mother of like 4 kids. She's a mother of 4 kids. She's a business, like she's amazing as an adult. She told somebody, yo, that's my coach. She gave me a chance when nobody else would, and I scored. She said that day she was sitting there, I said, God, she was like this. Nails was done, hair. I was like, yo, get in. She said, in where? In there. This is it. So she scores, we all excited, but my point is this. I changed her life for the rest of her life. Now she's an adult woman with kids. And
that's where the 96 cents.
Right, that's
Right.
That's what it's.
Because of that.
That's what
So,
it
you
doesn't
know,
matter, you know what I'm saying?
But again, we could talk about this coaching all night.
True,
and
true,
unfortunately,
true,
it's the Super Bowl Sunday, so we're going to wrap this thing up.
So before we get out of here, Antoine, start with you on this one. Just with you, future-wise, like I know you're building right now, the media future. You're trying to build, you know, your program up. I do know that, but you got aspirations to maybe hit the college scene, or you're just gonna see how far this takes you, type situation. Because I know you calculated with your stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. You
meticulous with your
I
stuff.
might be a little, you know, free willy, like, well, see what happens, but. He's thinking 20 years ahead already. You know what I'm saying? So what you thinking about?
I try to do that, but it seems like that never worked out for me when I do it. Like a 5-10 year plan or whatever. Like
Right.
it hasn't. I'm 35. It never worked out in my life yet.
Gotcha.
But I'm real big on the day, man, because we having this dialogue. But I love going there every day. I love going to KIP every single day and navigating these emotions and me having to adapt. I love it. Like, I got a new issue today. How am I going to find what's the solution?
Right.
Like, I love it. So, like, I really try to embrace the day and embrace the moment. You still got to be a coach. You still got to, you know, brainstorm what you want to do in the future. But, nah, man, I'm really just embracing this challenge. Just riding a wave. Like, I'm back with my people.
Right.
Like, that's how I feel. Like, and I love it. Like I love these. I'm right there with y'all. I grew up in the same place, and if I ain't go through something that you went through, I know somebody that did. You know, so I'm really fortunate to be in this position. After all them job interviews I went on and things like that, I went where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
And, yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm going to say this because I say this often for those that watch us every week, week in and week out. God's plan for God's people, right?
Yep.
It ain't about your plan. You said you tried the plan, right? You said it never worked out for you. 5 years, 10 years, don't work out for you.
Yo, no, real quick. Like I and I'm saying it, and it ain't no disrespect to y'all, but it is what it is. Like I got upset that I didn't get the Pemberton job. And think about that right now. What the hell am I going to do in Pemberton?
We needed you where you at.
Like,
That wasn't in his plan.
That don't even make sense.
You where you supposed to be.
Yeah.
I definitely see that. These kids is way in a better position. The whole program, the whole city for having Antoine where he is. You know what I'm saying?
And we're gonna have this conversation 5 years from now when y'all have your first. 4 years from now, when y'all have your first championship win.
Earlier than that.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a long time.
He said,
we in year one.
That's a long time.
You only a G. Okay, you right. Please make me eat my words. I'm sorry. Y'all heard it here first. Less than 4.
Definitely. Yeah, we got the tape.
I like it. I like it. Briggs, how about you, Briggs?
Yeah, I'm same as Antoine,
Got you.
man.
Just in the moment,
Just in the
just
moment,
day-to-day
man.
building.
I love coaching girls basketball. I always had an affinity for coaching girls basketball, just for coaching Deja over the years.
Shout out to Deja.
I got a group of girls that I probably, I had since probably middle school.
Okay.
So being able to coach them in the high school realm, I'm just enjoying watching them grow and watching the program grow to heights that have never been. So
definitely.
See how it goes.
Before we wrap this up, got any shout outs, anything?
Man, I just want to say appreciate you, man. As always, every time I get a chance, man, I just want to say thank you, man, because I definitely wouldn't be in this game without you, man. You're doing great things with the podcast, but not only the podcast, but just being the person that you are, man. The things that you're doing, man, putting people on. It's just phenomenal, man. Keep being you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like I just had, I had Alex Vasquez on my show, like talking about real estate, and that was my lifelong friends, and it's kind of the same thing. Like being in there and just thinking about how the world is going. Like it's a trip, man. Like the world itself is in a wild place. Like I just go down the street and I just see anger. Right, like with everybody, everybody's just angry, but I know they just angry with their situation. Right. So I'm in the same boat as Briggs. It's like I love what y'all doing. I love that y'all two and Briggs, y'all genuinely good people that really want to make the world a better place. You're not trying to get over on anybody. Y'all not trying to stab nobody in the back. Y'all the same way every single time, whether you mad or happy. With the people that you care about, and just giving energy out into the world, and it's really refreshing to see that, because you don't, right? You just don't. Everybody has a motive. Everybody wants to take from you, and I've learned to become appreciative when I'm around people that really genuinely care about my happiness. And they're not trying to take anything from me, and they just want to be good character people, So, back to y'all. Love what y'all doing. I love the people that y'all become. I love how you adapt, and I love how y'all getting through life. We all been through trauma here, and everybody here is still pushing through. Again, something that a lot of people not doing. Like people giving up in life. Like they still might be living, but they dead inside. Everybody got their vices and things like that. And I'm with 3 people that, I know all y'all stories and things like, and y'all trying to get over the mountaintop and be a better person, for yourself, for your family, and for society, And I think we don't reward people enough for that, Like we don't reward black people for anything, And I'm at a point where I try to cherish any type of wins, anything. So I'm giving that back to y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. What you got, cousin?
So as per usual, I'm going to give y'all my usual shout outs. So my man Briggs here to my left didn't say anything about all that he is, right? He has We Build Hoops. Basketball. It's a training facility program, and for those that are not in my area, even those that are in my area, it's a very nice program. If you have younger athletes, I can only speak about younger athletes. I'm quite sure it's a good program for older athletes, but amazing program. He does amazing with training. He does amazing as a trainer. I liked what he's done with my grandbaby. I wish I could send her more times, but you know, life always has me hostage. Antoine, I like what he's doing with Kip Ground Zero. I just want to shout him out for pouring back into his community. I just like to see my young people, and I call them my young people because when they were young teenagers, they were my babies, and now they're young adults or older adults. They're still my babies. But to see them pouring back into the community that they come from, where they're from, and just showing the kids that just because you're from Camden, you don't have to be of Camden. And I appreciate that. Shouts out to you. I'm always going to shout out my dog right here. To my left is my cousin. I don't know if Antoine had a little bit to do with it. I don't know if y'all out there in the podcast world had something to do with it. But my cousin gave me an opportunity to come here in front of you guys each and every week and to be grateful. Grateful for you guys watching and grateful for all that I am and all that I'm trying to be. I appreciate everybody on here today. You guys all mean something to me. And anytime that I trust my grandbaby with the people here, it speaks volumes. That's Coach Antoine. This is Coach Briggs. They both have connection with my granddaughter and her basketball journey. Hopefully we'll be going a lot of places with her. Cousin Setch is Cousin Setch, but he's probably going to have some intricate parts in her baseball career. You know, so... With that being said, shout out to the gang. Love y'all, love you, Setch. Appreciate everybody here.
Definitely love you too. Shit, you done pretty much said everything that needs to be said, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just know, super proud of these two, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we just didn't coach together. We also built a great friendship, and we're still building on that. So I just want to definitely wish you guys, you know,
Nothing but
the best, you know what I'm saying? And both you guys know if I can never do anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm here, you know what I'm saying? A phone call away. You know
Hold on, and I didn't say this at all tonight. Like, subscribe, and
Please
get the
do.
notifications.
Please do. Let's get them likes up.
And
You know what
AM
I'm
University, like, subscribe,
AM
get the
University.
notifications.
Cop them hoodies.
Oh!
We got merchandise. I forgot. Thank you. Thank you.
We got merch.
Shouts out to my man, Stephen Farrs, Unique Brandon for the logo. My man, Marquise, for throwing it on the apparel for us. You can DM me. You can DM Cousin Tracy.
And I'll DM him.
And we'll get that merch out to you. Again, love you guys. Thank you all for being on. Cousin Tracy, you know I love you. You know what I'm saying? And again, just got to thank Antoine again because, like you said, what you say? We on his podcast tree?
Yeah, podcast tree.
You know what I'm saying? We on his podcast
I didn't know I was on the podcast tree. I was on the podcast tree. There we go.
We planting seeds around here. We planting seeds.
Yes, indeed. So
Let's do
episode 39 in the books, the Super Bowl Day edition. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm Setchuayo, a.k.a. Coach Bird. I'm the host of the BYRDCAGE show. We will talk to you soon. Cool. Yes, indeed. I like it.
It was a stone groove, my man.